PCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today we're going to learn how to make this beautiful 3D flower, and it's going to use a couple different colors. It's really fun, really easy to make. I'm going to show you the back. This is what the back looks like. So you see you have the 2 layers of the petals here, and then you have a little 2 layers of petals right here, okay? It's a pretty large flower. I'll give you a idea, because sometimes when you're looking at videos you just can't tell, but if you're going to be using this as some kind of applique or something, you kind of really need to know. So that's about the size. I have a large hand for a woman, so this is about the size it is, and this one was made with a little bit of smaller yarn with a smaller hook, so that just goes to show you the difference. So this one is a little bit smaller. Okay, so let's get into our materials. So for your materials today, as I told you, you're going to be using 3 different color yarns, but again, you can use any colors you want. You can make it all one color, you could make it 2 colors, but the way I'm going to show you to do it today is you have this middle color right here, then you have a color for these petals, and then you have a color for these petals here. You can also use more colors and add another color for these back petals over here, and you could do another color here. So it's all up to you. I'm using a 4.5mm hook, and you will need a pair of scissors, and you will need a darning needle, or you might call it a crochet needle. And you're going to need that for the end of your flower to sew in all your ends, and as you go for some of the pieces that we're going to be sewing on. Now I will be sewing this middle piece on, but you could also use fabric glue or hot gun glue. You could use either one as well. You could place that on depending upon what you're doing for your project. Okay, and I do want to say real quick, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notify me bell below so that you can get notified for all my videos. And if you especially love a certain video or this video, please share it with any of your friends or your crochet groups or on Instagram or Facebook. That helps so much, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to start with this white cotton yarn that I have, and I'm going to make a magic circle. If you're not familiar with any of the stitches that we're using for this video, or a magic circle or anything else, I have a beginner video below that's especially for new crocheters, so check that out. Okay, so we have our magic circle, and into this magic circle we're going to put 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's it. And then we're going to tighten it up. And then we're going to count back to make sure that we have our 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And into this first single crochet that we did, we're going to put a slip stitch. So I'm just going to take the back of my hook there to get in there easily. And we'll just make a slip stitch right there. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to put 1 single crochet into the same spot, and then we're going to put another single crochet into the same spot, and then we're going to do 2 single crochets in each spot all the way around for a count of 10. So I just did 2. So there's 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and 9 and 10. Then you're going to slip stitch to your first stitch, so not your chain 1, but your first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just want to make sure that I get into the right space, and I'm going to make a slip stitch to join that all together. Okay, and that's the middle of our flower. So right now we're going to go ahead and cut off, leaving enough room to work in, and then we're just going to tie off, just like that. Then you can pull that to the back if you want by going through your next available spot and pulling that piece back so we can get it out of the way. Okay, just like that. So I've got this really pretty pink color I'm going to add now, and I'm going to be working through the back loops now only. So right here I'm just going to bring in my other color in the back loop, just like that. And then I'm going to chain 2. Then in that same space, I'm going to double crochet again, chain 2, and then I'm going to put a slip stitch, and all in the same stitch, just like that. Then I'm going to go to my next stitch in the back loop, and I'm going to work a slip stitch. Then I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to put 1 more double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 2, and in that same spot, I'm going to do a slip stitch. And then again, working in the back loop, I'm going to go to my next stitch, work a slip stitch, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2 again, in the same spot, work a slip stitch. So we're just going to keep doing that same thing all the way around, working in the back loops. And as you can see, now that we're working in the back loops, you can see the front loops for all these stitches right here. Okay, so we have 9, and now we're on our last one. So you should have 10 petals all together, working in the back loop still, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, and then slip stitch right into the middle of that spot, same spot right there. Okay. Now to end this row, we're going to slip stitch right here into this bottom part of this petal, and then make a slip stitch. And then make sure that you leave enough to work in. Okay, so you're just going to close off right there. And now we're going to do the same thing that we just did for the back loops in the front loops. So you're going to work the same exact pattern in the front loops. So we're going to look at these right now just so I can show you, okay? Because sometimes they're hard to see. But right here we have a front loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, okay? So I want you to go in right here, but you can go in any stitch that you want, any front loop, and we're gonna bring in the same color. You can use a different color if you'd like. Make a rainbow flower, but we're going to pull this in right here. We're going to chain 2, do a double crochet, chain 2 again, and slip stitch. And then you would go to your next front loop. You can hold these petals down if it makes it easier. You go to the next front loop, do a slip stitch, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, and do a slip stitch. And we'll do that one more time into the front loop. Go into there, do a slip stitch, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, and a slip stitch. So just keep doing that all the way around. When I finish doing mine, I'll meet you back up so I can show you how to close it off. And then we're going to work our ends in, and I'm going to show you how to do the rest of the flower. Okay, so we just finished our 10th petal into the front loops. And so now what we're going to do is, just like before, we're going to slip stitch into the bottom of this petal right here, right in that bottom. And then we're going to cut off. Then we're going to tie in, and then what we're going to do is we're going to work in all of our ends here. But what I'm actually going to do, because I'm going to sew this on, I'm going to leave this one I'm going to leave this one on, the one coming out of the middle, so we don't have to add any yarn or anything to it. And so then I'm just going to work in my other pieces that I have. Okay, so now we have our middle piece done, and we're going to set that aside, and now we're going to start working on the outer portion of the flower that looks like this right here, all the way around. So I'm going to use this pretty green color, and we are going to start with a magic circle again. And into this magic circle, we're going to put 8 single crochets. so we have our 8 single crochets. We're going to tighten that up. We're going to count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Make sure that we have our 8. And we're going to go right into our first stitch, and we're going to put a slip stitch. Then we're going to chain 1, and in this right where we just chained 1 and slip stitched, we're going to put 2 single crochets right into that same spot. So 1 and 2. And then you're going to put 2 single crochets all the way around in each stitch for a count of 16. So we have 2, then I just did 1, that's 3. And then there's 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10, 11, and 12, 13, and 14, and 15, and 16. Okay, pull tight again. And then right into this first stitch, we're going to do a slip stitch. And there we have the center that we're going to be working through. Now you're going to chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And then we're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th stitch, we're going to put a regular treble crochet. So yarn over twice. 1, 2, 3. Go into the 4th. And put 1 treble, go through 2, go through 2, go through 2. And into the next 4 stitches, we're going to put a double treble. Now, in case you don't know what a double treble is, you're going to wrap the yarn around your hook 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to go into your next available stitch, pull up, go through 2, go through 2, go through 2, and go through 2. So you're going to do that 4 times. So there's 1, and then 2, and 3, and 4. And into your next available stitch, you're going to do a regular treble, so wrap around your hook twice. Go into your next stitch, pull up, go through 2, 2, go through 2. Then you're going to do a regular double crochet. And then you're going to do a half double crochet in your next stitch. Okay, just like that. Okay, so we just completed our first petal. And now you're going to skip a stitch and go into your next stitch, working in the front loop, and you're going to do a slip stitch, and then you're going to start again chaining 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now you're going to skip 1 in between all of these, and so when you're done, you should have 8 petals. Now again, we're going to go to the 4th stitch down, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in that 4th stitch, we're going to work a regular treble crochet. And then we're going to work 4 double trebles, wrapping around our hook 3 times. There's 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. Now in the next stitch, we're going to do a regular double crochet, treble crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to work a double crochet. And in the next stitch, we're going to work a half double crochet. Then you're going to skip a stitch, go into your next stitch, working through the front loops only. And let's do this one more time. Chain 11, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Go down to the 4th stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Work a regular treble crochet. Then do 4 double trebles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then in your next stitch, you're going to work a regular treble. Then you're going to work a double crochet. Then you're going to work a half double crochet. Then you're going to skip 1 stitch, go into the next, into the front loops, do a slip stitch, and start all over again. So I want you to keep doing that all the way around until you have 8 petals, and then we'll meet back up again. Okay, so we just finished our last petal, and this is what it looks like. It looks a really kind of messy. Everything looks a little turned in and squiggly, and that's okay. It's all going to fix itself. But so we just finished our last one, and we're supposed to skip a stitch and go into the next if we were going to do another petal. So what we're going to do is skip this stitch and into this next stitch right here, this first stitch of this first petal. We're going to go right underneath there, and we're going to put a slip stitch. Okay, so right after you slip stitch right under here into this spot right here, we're going to start working up and around our petals to make them not so squiggly. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to work 8 slip stitches up, 3 stitches on the top, and 8 back down again. So let me show you how we do this. Okay, so we're going to be working in these stitches going up. If they don't line up, perfectly, don't worry about it. Just try to get 8 going up this way, 3 across the top, and like I said, 8 down the back way. So going into this first stitch right here, we're going to put a slip stitch. So there's 1 and another, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then right across the top here, we're going to do 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to go back down and work 8 slip stitches going the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and as you can see, those slip stitches give your petals stability, and they make it turn in just a little bit to make it look very realistic like a petal. Okay, and so then we would just move on right over here to this next one. We're not going to slip stitch here into this space. We're going to skip that all together and go right up to our next petal. Working in this bottom stitch, we're going to start doing slip stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then across the top, 1, 2, and 3. And then going down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then again, we're going to skip this stitch right here and go to our next petal, working right there in the bottom. 1, 2. Okay, so you're just going to keep doing that all the way around. As you can see, it just makes the petals look beautiful, and all of them are going to look that way. When you get back around to the end, you would just slip stitch to the bottom of this stitch right here. So it would have been the first slip stitch you did of this petal. You're going to slip stitch right there, and then you're going to be done with the front of this. Now, I'm not going to do all of that on camera because it would take forever. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off here. You would cut off at the end of this row. And I'm going to show you, if you wanted to go further and do the back like you saw on mine, I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. Okay. And it's not hard. It's basically doing just what you did in the front, but it's going to be in the back. So I just want to show you that real quick. So I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to show you where you're going to be working into in this flower. As you can see, now you can see all of those back loops that we didn't work into. We skipped some stitches, but then also the stitches we did work into, we worked into the front loops. So you're going to be working into these back loops, okay? And you're going to be skipping stitches as well, okay? So like right here is a front loop, a back loop. And right here and right here. So you're going to be working into all those stitches right there. So I'm just going to show you real quick. You want to make sure that you start your work facing the appropriate way, okay? So if we start it here, the flower is going to be looking funny. So you want to make sure that the flower is facing you this way, and then you fold down the petals, and then you work along these stitches right here. Because if you start it this way, then you'll be looking at the back of the flower, okay? So you're going to pull up right here, pull your yarn in again, and then you're going to chain up 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to 9, 10, and 11. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to work a regular treble crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to work a double treble 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to work a regular treble in your next stitch, a double crochet in the next stitch, and a half double crochet in the next. Okay. Now, because we pulled this yarn in, it looks like we have another stitch, but we don't. So now what you're going to do is you're going to skip your next front post right here, or back post rather, and then you're going to go into the next, and you're going to do a slip stitch, then you're going to chain 11, and you're going to start all over again. So you're just going to do the exact same thing you did in the front, and you're now going to do it in the back in these loops that we missed. Then you're going to go all the way around, you're going to put the slip stitches up on your petals, and you're going to close it just like I showed you to do, okay? So really easy stuff, and exactly the same. So if you need to rewind, you can, and for this that we did right here, it can show you how to do the back. But I just wanted to show you how to get through those loops in the back of the flower now, okay? So now I'm going to show you how to sew on, even though our flower is incomplete because we're trying to make a shorter video than, 2 hours. I'm going to show you how to sew this on to the front. So just so you know, you could just have one layer of these. If you got tired of it and you did all these and you're like, okay, it looks beautiful, I'm just going to leave it alone, you can do that. You do not have to add this second layer back here in the back. You could end it, but I really think that it helps it look really 3D. So again, it's totally up to you. It still does look pretty just like this, okay? But I do want to show you, so we left this piece on, remember, so that we could work this in. So I want to show you how to work this in. As I said, you could use glue if you wanted to. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this, I put it on my darning needle, I'm going to go right back through the middle again. with this. Then I'm going to place this right in the middle of my flower. Yours, of course, will be done and look beautiful, but it'll still be the same. So then it's right here in the middle, and I'm just simply going to go up here next to the corner of these petals, and I'm going to start sewing all the way around here into these little places next to the petal. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going back and forth into these little places right here, all the way around, just to make sure that it's nice and secure. And when I sew it this way, it goes in really nicely with the side of the flower, so you can't really see it that well, okay? So now I think I've gone through it enough. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to work this into the back of the green here. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. And then you can cut off. And then your applique would be finished. It just makes such a beautiful flower, guys. I'm sorry I couldn't get it all done for you with the video, but I do have some completed that you can look at. But again, nobody needs a video that long when it's not necessary, because I showed you how to do it all, and I know you can do it, so it's gonna look beautiful. But if you need any help or you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. You can ask in the comment section below right here on YouTube, or if you're uncomfortable with that or you wanna reach me in a different way, you can find me in the description box below, and you can see that I have an Instagram, I have a TikTok, I have a Facebook, and I have a Gmail that you can email me on. So you can find me everywhere, guys, and I would love to see pictures of your completed projects and what you do with these gorgeous flowers. Happy crocheting. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.